morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is J.R. Moore coming to you live from deep in the mountains of the Missouri Ozarks on Thursday, the first day of August, year of our Lord 2019. Welcome to the John Moore Show. We begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Preparative of the day, I want to make sure you all check all your batteries. We live lives surrounded by batteries. Obviously, motor vehicle batteries, various batteries for different devices, AA's, AAA's, C's, D's, the little flat batteries for various devices. Check them all. Make sure that they're in good condition. If they're rechargeable, you may want to keep them charged up. They do self-discharge, by the way. And, of course, the chargers themselves. Trickle chargers for motor vehicles that aren't being used all the time, and tractors and ATVs and so forth, motorcycles. And, of course, the charge used for the AA's, AAA's, and so forth, C's and D's. Make sure you've got at least two good quality chargers. As the old saying goes, one is none and two is one. We're going to have open lines this first half hour. Bottom of the hour, we'll have Tom Berryhill with us. Top of hour two, we'll have the John Moore Radio Show economic advisor, Steve Hunt, with us, give us some updates on the economy, and then we'll wrap up the show with open lines. We now have posted on my website the notice for the upcoming cruise. This will be the John Moore Patriot Symposium cruise aboard the Royal Caribbean Harmony of the Seas. This is the largest cruise ship on the ocean at the moment. There's some new ones coming out that are slightly larger, but this one's the largest at the moment. And by the way, for you romantic types out there, this will include the St. Valentine's Day, February 14th. It'll be a lot of fun. If you go to my website, you can click on that little box there and get the details. We leave Orlando, Port Canaveral on Saturday the 9th. I'll be doing a speaking engagement in Orlando the day before, by the way, with Stephen Ben Noon. And we will be at St. Martin, San Juan, Puerto Rico, and an island owned by Royal Caribbean called Coco Cay in Bahamas. Return to Florida on Saturday the 16th. If you want to go, if you don't have internet access and can't read all this on the internet, just give Betsy Murphy a call at 636-530-9502. I say again, 636-530-9502. We need to keep from getting distracted, I believe. Now being August, we are 14 months away. 14 months away from the national election, the first Tuesday in November, 2020. These 14 months will fly by. It'll fly by so fast, make your head spin. The article I have right next to the listing for the Patriot Cruise, a little short article, 2 pages I wrote the first week of July. A memorandum, subject, FTX TED Offensive. FTX is an acronym for Field Training Exercise. I had to call it something, so I'm calling it Field Training Exercise TED Offensive. We need to stay focused. We need clarity. We need total, in my opinion, total focus on preparing for what I think is coming. The men and women I work with, we're talking men and women involved in law enforcement, in the military, and preparedness connected to government agencies. We are in complete agreement that perilous times are nigh upon us. Do we have until November 2020? That's a good question. I don't know. Our enemies, the communists, socialists, Democrats, Muslims, they know that we're as weak now as we will ever be. They also know that we're getting stronger, we being the United States military in particular, and our country in general, our economy. It's pretty funny. The one topic the Democratic presidential hopefuls want to avoid is the economy, because it's humiliating and embarrassing how fantastic the economy is going for all people in this country, everybody. The Latinos, the African Americans, the Asians, the Caucasians, everybody's doing better. So they stay away from that topic, don't they? Regardless, there certainly could be precursors prior to November 2020. I don't know if there will be. I have to believe that that's a strong possibility and be foolish not to. Precursors in the form of civil disorder, precursors in the form of possibly attacks on communications, the power grid, and so forth. Anything's possible. Our opponents, socialists, communists, Democrats, Muslims, they know they will not win the presidential office in 2020. They know that. That's a given. As long as President Trump is healthy and fulfilling his duties, of course he's going to be reelected. That's a given. They should be worried about losing the House in light of the fact, and it is a fact, undisputable fact, that the Democrats are making complete fools and idiots of themselves on a national level. How anybody in their right mind can call themselves a Democrat these days, I don't know. I have friends that grew up in Democratic families, and for them it's their comfort level. For them, it's what they've always known. But I'm here to tell them, my friends, that the Democratic Party you grew up in is gone. The Democratic Party of John F. Kennedy is gone. It's finished. Plan B for the socialists, Democrats, communists, Muslims is civil disorder, chaos. What's that Latin phrase? Order out of chaos. Order out of chaos. They'll smash it. You know, there's a saying that I think Hillary Clinton has used this saying: you need to smash some or break some eggs to make an omelet. Well, they're willing to break as many eggs as they need to. Breaking eggs, of course, is a polite way of saying hurting people, killing people, and destroying property. They'll do whatever it takes to accomplish their goal, and that's the track record. That's the historical record that they will do so. So what do you do? Here we are, the first week of August, 2019. You're sitting out there in Texas, or Maine, California. God bless you if you're in California. I'm sorry for you. Wherever you might be, Florida, Illinois, Minnesota, doesn't matter. Washington State. You've got your job, you've got your family, you've got social and family obligations. And here's John Moore telling you you've got to get ready for civil disorder. Well, the first step, of course, is to get your spiritual house in order. That's the single most important thing. If you can do nothing else, do that. Your physical fitness. If you're not healthy yourself, how can you expect to help anybody else? I was talking to a healthcare provider earlier this week, and she was telling me about how her energy level is not what it needs to be. And I said, you need to take care of yourself first. I know you want to help people. That's your passion. That's your life. I understand that. I appreciate that on one hand. On the other, unless you take care of yourself first, you're not going to be helping anybody. Like, that applies to all of you out there also. That means getting a good night's sleep. It means drinking good, clean, pure water. Eating good, clean, healthy food. No tobacco. Minimal amounts of alcohol. A reasonable amount of exercise. Yeah, and even a little sunshine. How many people do I see that are so pale they look like they've been in jail for 6 months? And Lord knows I've been in enough jails and seen enough young men, occasionally women with a jail pallor from not being exposed to vitamin D and sunshine. Those are the first steps. And do they cost anything? Not really. You should be eating good, clean, healthy food anyway. But will it cost a little more? Probably. Suck it up, Buttercup. Good, clean water. No sodium fluoride, no chlorine. That shouldn't be too much of an effort. What does it take to get a little exercise? Put on some good quality shoes and go for a walk. It's not asking too much, is it? Well, once you get those things underway, which they need to be a daily occurrence, of course, then you need to be looking at skills. And yes, I'm repeating myself. You've heard this before. Maybe you need to hear it again. If you're new to the John Moore Show, this will be your first time. First aid and CPR. CPR changes, it seems like, every couple of years. It changed again about a year ago. You need an updated CPR course. You need first aid, including how to suture. Lord knows I don't want to be sewing up anybody, but if I'm the only guy there to do it, yeah, I'll do it. Taking care of my wife, Dr. Moore, these past 18 months, I had learned how to do things I never thought I'd be doing, such as giving shots with needles, hypodermic needles. So get these skills, the first aid and the CPR. Ham radio, of course. We'll be talking about that tomorrow morning with Tom Berryhill, as we do every Friday. We take these cell phones for granted. We take our landlines for granted. Well, they won't necessarily be there. The government will seize the cell phone network for themselves. That's already set up. In fact, I'm part of it. As with our local preparedness group, we have access to that kind of ability to use our cell phones when nobody else can. It's a pretty good thing. Might save some lives. But if your cell phone and your landline doesn't work, what are you going to do? That's where radios come in. Good quality, ham radios, transceivers, not the handy talkies. Yeah, they're handy, all right. 5 watts, you can be talking too far away. Mobile radios that you can talk literally around the world if you get the radio that is set up to do that, of course. And the person on the other end has the compatible equipment and compatible skills to be able to talk back to you. That should be enough right there to take up a lot of your discretionary time. Do you need to know how to garden? Of course. Gardening is a very important thing. Do you need to know to defend yourself? Of course you do. In fact, this Saturday, day after tomorrow, I'm teaching a concealed carry class down at Freedom Center USA in Lebanon, Missouri. If you want to be part of the class, well, contact Sam. You can go through his Facebook page here and get his telephone number at Freedom Center USA LLC and give him a call and get on the list. If we have a good turnout this class, we may be doing these once a month. We'll see. Maybe once every 2 months. That remains to be seen. I've sat across the interview table from several thousand men and women charged with crimes. Minor crimes and major crimes, including murder. Quite a few murders. And I've had some of these men tell me the following. I would ask a question. I would ask a career criminal the following question. What would you do if there was a severe earthquake, some other type of calamity, tornado? What would you do? These men look me straight in the eye and say, John, we look at it as economic opportunity. Well, that economic opportunity is your personal possessions. Maybe include your teenage daughter. Possibly. I was doing a security consultation with a woman who ran a clinic, a medical clinic. And they had on the premises, they had painkillers, which are highly sought after by criminals, in case you don't know. They have extreme street value. Prescription painkillers have extreme street value. So I asked her a question: what would happen if you're here and the power goes out? You can't dial 911, and a pickup truck with 3 men that are armed come here to take your prescription painkillers and maybe a couple of these attractive young nurses you've got. She just looked at me with this blank stare, a deer in the headlight look. She didn't have a response. Of course not. She had no response. I was at a group, and this goes back 20 years ago, in a home. I was doing a presentation on earthquake preparedness, which in our earthquakes can happen anywhere. In fact, we're seeing earthquakes in places that have never had earthquakes before. That group may be about a dozen, 6 men, 6 women. And I asked the group, I said, what do you do during this event? There's no 911 to call, no police to call. You're on your own, and a pickup truck with armed men comes down your driveway, and they want your teenage daughter. What do you do? The men were speechless. Now, this was a group of kind of artsy, musical kind of people, liberals, and probably Democrats. The good people with good hearts and so forth. But they were speechless. They didn't know what to say. And I said, well, you need to arm yourself with firearms. And they were astonished at that. One of the men said, well, John, can we use pellet guns? And I looked at this man. I was incredulous. You're going to protect your teenage daughter from armed criminals with a pellet gun? Are you serious? Are you kidding me? You're going to protect your teenage daughter from armed men with a pellet gun? Well, that put a damper on the whole presentation, obviously, because their worldview and mine were certainly not matching up. We got a break. Call number is 800-313-9443.
It's happening, ladies and gentlemen. We here at RBN are working with Front Sight Firearms Training Institute to bring our audience the best in combat, tactical, and defensive firearms training. Whether you're a private citizen who is new to firearms, or you have a concealed weapon permit and want a level of training that surpasses what you've received from your local gun range, Front Sight provides priceless education and skills taught by seasoned law enforcement, military, and private citizen instructors to levels that far exceed law enforcement and military standard. With nearly 1 million responsible citizens trained from every town, city, and state from across the United States, Front Sight has bolstered the Patriot movement to a whole new level. Contact Dan Sutterfield by phone at 573-762-2356 or 573-465-2356 or shoot him an email at domedan, DOMEDAN, at hotmail.com. This is a limited time opportunity. Don't miss it.
Folks, we're living in a world the likes of which we've never perceived any clearer than we do now. The plan for global governance has been in the works for generations and would have likely been achieved by now but for the fact that the globalists left open their Achilles heel. With all their tools, Federal Reserve System, fiat currency, no child left behind, and then Common Core education introduced to our schools to dumb us down, vaccines, pharmaceuticals to lobotomize us, GMO foods, insertion of compromised or bought and paid for politicians, judges, mainstream media propaganda, all pieced together like a puzzle designed to ultimately bring the world under submission. But with all their strategy, they forgot one thing: knowledge. And knowledge is power. With knowledge, their bombardment is nullified. Folks, with that, as brilliant and knowledgeable as you've become, among the wisest audience of any radio audience in the world, and you are, I want you to take a moment to reflect and ask yourself, how much of that knowledge did I obtain from Republic Broadcasting Network? How high has my consciousness been raised since I've been a listener? How fast am I now able to discriminate truth from fake news by being a Republic Broadcasting listener? How clear am I now able to see the world since I've been listening to RBN? Ask yourselves those questions, folks. Then ask yourself, what is that knowledge worth to me? Like my morning coffee, how would I survive without it? A voice of truth in a sea of lies. do we not all need to make sure it survives? Like public broadcasting, we are now finding we can only survive with listener support. Censorship, advertisers being attacked, truth itself being attacked. It's the only way through this. We at Republic Broadcasting humbly ask you to become a supporter. Look at your budget and make a determination of what Republic Broadcasting is worth to you and what you can afford on a monthly basis. Go to republicbroadcasting.org and pledge $20, $30, $40, $50, if possible, $100 a month or more if it's affordable. Click the donate button and become a regular monthly donor. Assure both us and yourself that Republic Broadcasting truth will continue to flow like that morning coffee. The network thanks you.
All right, we're back, ladies and gentlemen. Jared Moore here on Thursday, the first day of August. It is the first day of August. I will continue to put the word out here as long as I'm on the air, as long as you're listening, obviously, that we, myself, the men and women I work with in law enforcement, connected with government agencies and so forth, we share our concern that after the first Tuesday of November 2020, all hell's going to break loose. Hopefully not before. I'll take every week and every month we can get to get prepared. Will it happen? I don't know. Could it happen? Of course it could. It's foolish to believe otherwise. Of course it could. And if you get prepared, nothing happens, it's okay. You've done things you should be doing anyway, in my opinion. Having a healthier lifestyle, doing a little bit of physical exercise, learning skills you need to learn. As we talk about frequently, there's no place anywhere on this planet that's safe from all natural disasters. That place doesn't exist. Earthquakes, tornadoes, hurricanes, floods, fires. Every place is subject to at least one or more of those events. So getting the skills now, while you can, while we have what appears to be the luxury of time to get these skills, would be a smart thing, don't you think? I do. That would be real wise. And once you got them, you got them. Once you have these skills, they can't be taken away from you. It's become part of who you are. It's all good. Will he spend some money? Well, of course he'll spend some money. That's unavoidable. Keep it within your budget, of course. I'm not recommending that you run up your credit card buying a bunch of stuff. That's your choice. I'm not making that recommendation. Credit card interest rates are crazy, 22, 24%. You're in the loan sharking territory there, quite frankly. If nothing else, store up rice and beans. Make sure that they're stored in such a manner that the larvae won't hatch out, eat up the grain, that mice can't get at it, and so forth. There's lots of ways to store up rice and beans, and rice and beans provides pretty complete nutrition, except for vitamin C. Would it be boring? Of course it would be boring. Will it keep you alive? Yes, it will keep you alive. That safe haven I talk about, this may be a really good time to acquire a safe haven and make sure it's ready and waiting for you, unless you can move there full time, which is even better. So time's a wasting. 14 months until the election 2020. It will be here so fast, you'll wonder where these 14 months went. The time to take action is now. It's past time. I've been at this a long time. I can't imagine starting out fresh and having 14 months to get ready. it would be a challenge even for myself. But you do what you can do in the time you've got with the resources you have. You work within the time you got. You work within the resources you have. That's what you do. Don't anguish over what you can't do. Don't anguish over what you don't have. Take joy in what you can do. Take joy in what you do have. And make do with it. The possibility of this getting wildly out of control and going into full-blown civil war is definitely a possibility. When I first heard this 6-8 years ago or more, I thought, what a silly concept. Civil war in this country? Are you kidding me? But that's where we are. It's a clear and present danger. It's gone from the realm of tinfoil conspiracy theory to the realm of, yeah, this is possible. And to believe otherwise is foolish. To not prepare is foolish. To do what you can for the next 14 months is very wise. Whatever that is for you and your family. There's going to be youngsters completely dependent on the adults to take care of them. Older folks who need help be taken care of. Those of us in between, we're the ones that are the caregivers, aren't we? We have a bottom of the hour break coming up here shortly. We'll be back with Tom Berry. He'll talk about my favorite product, my home business, the energy cleaner. I really like helping hundreds of people get their lives back. It is a lot of fun. It really is. It is truly a lot of fun. And it's always fun to visit with Tom Berry. He's a very unique individual, to say the least. If you use an energy cleaner yourself and you would like to share your experience with the energy cleaner, give us a call at the break at 800-313-9443.
You are tuned in to the Republic Broadcasting Network. Visit our website by going to republicbroadcasting.org.
Ladies and gentlemen, J.R. Moore here. We have a special promotion going on at Republic Broadcasting. This is a fundraiser for Republic Broadcasting involving the energy cleaner. Mail me a postcard. My address is at my website at thelibertyman.com. We pick a postcard every other Thursday. When your postcard is drawn out, you get to buy an energy cleaner for $215 instead of $285, $70 discount. $200 goes to Republic Broadcasting. You also get a 10% discount on my mattress pads. So get those postcards in, put your name, your telephone number, your email address on there, and when your postcard is drawn, you get to get an energy cleaner for $215 instead of $285. Mattress pads, 10% off. Help us out at Republic Broadcasting and help yourself to get an energy cleaner at a deep discount. It's a win-win situation for everybody. We hope you can get these postcards in soon. Thank you very much. We're back with J.R. Moore here on Thursday, the first day of August. This is the 24 minutes I look forward to every week. I've been looking forward to this 24 minutes every week for a long time. We take 24 minutes to talk about my favorite product, my home business, the energy cleaner, a marvelous healing device. And we begin these conversations with my friend Tom Berryhill, the manufacturer of the energy cleaner, giving us Okay.
Good morning, John.
Tom,
Can you hear me?
I do.
Okay, good. Okay. We are not doctors or medical professionals. We don't diagnose, treat, or cure any illness or disease. The information discussed today is for your education and entertainment only. If you have a medical condition requiring treatment, you should utilize the services of a medical doctor, chiropractor, or other competent practitioner.
All right. Well, Tom, I shipped an energy cleaner to Canada earlier this week. I shipped quite a few of these to Canada over the years. And of course, Australia, New Zealand, United Kingdom, Ireland, Scotland, and other places. It's amazing the outreach this radio show has, the outreach Republic Broadcasting has, and the ability to help people get their lives back. It's really a calling. It's a mission. It's not just a job, is it, sir?
No, John. It is a mission, and it is something I've been doing for nearly 20 years now, and I've met some very nice people along the way. People that really had some health issues. They needed assistance, and the energy cleaner really was a godsend for them. There's many times that pharmaceutical products would not help these people. They were having pain issues far beyond what even a morphine drip would do. And you know, John, that some of these people were helped when nothing else would help them. So it's really gratifying to be able to help people turn their lives around like that. And that's what we've been doing all these years.
It is. Now, we got regular listeners who hear you and I every Thursday, and this being radio, people who've never heard John Moore before, don't have a clue who Tom Berryhill is, never heard of the energy cleaner. So every week we need to begin from the beginning. The energy cleaner is a healing device. It's not a Rife machine, frequency generator. It's not a TENS unit. That's the two things people confuse it with the most. And it puts out a healing electrostatic signal. That's what it does. It puts out a signal that goes to every cell in your body, flushing out toxins, bringing in fresh nutrition, getting these cells rejuvenated, or as you say, Tom, the energy cleaner acts as a jump starter, jumper cables, to jump start these cells and get them functioning the way they should be functioning. Pretty simple. When you hear a couple of guys talk about a small electronic device that will do things that an entire hospital full of highly educated doctors and nurses can't do, it is counterintuitive, isn't it, Tom?
Oh, it really is, John, and so many medical doctors are really against this. They don't like it, they don't understand it, and they say it won't work. While other medical doctors have come on board in recent years, it's been a hard thing to get some of them to even look at it. But right. I do know that several medical doctors are working with this now, and they really like seeing the results that their patients are receiving. So they're starting to open up some, and that's a really good thing.
Right. The energy cleaner is about the size of a cigar box. Takes 9 D as in Delta, 9 D-cell batteries. No on-off switch, no gauges, no dials. Simply in one place to plug in one wire and one LED light that alternately flashes red or green, telling you two things. First of all, it's working. Second of all, it's changing polarity. Now, that one wire can go to the mattress pad that I offer for sale. These are very comfortable factory-made mattress pads that you just put the mattress pad on the bed like you do any other mattress pad, plug it in the energy cleaner, make your bed up with sheets and blankets and comforters like you normally do, and just sleep on it 8 hours a night. Although some people find they don't need as much sleep, don't they, Tom?
Well, that happens quite often. People say they get so energized they can't sleep. Well, they do get some good sleep, but they don't require as much. And I've had people tell me they feel totally refreshed with as little as 4 hours of sleep when they were sleeping on that energy cleaner pad. It's different for everybody, John. And some people will find that it works quite well for them. We have had some people say it energizes them so much, it's just too much, and we tell them to take some of the batteries out and just run it on 3 batteries. You can there's 3 rows of 3 batteries in the energy cleaner, 9 total, and you can run it on 3 to cut the power level down a little bit and ease your way into it. That's a very rare occurrence for that to happen, but some people are very sensitive to energy, and they end up having a lot of other problems because of electrical wiring and things like that. So that's the way it works.
They are. In fact, our friend Vince Finelli, he's one of those very few people that can sense when he's in the presence of a Wi-Fi signal, which There are people like that, and Vince happens to be one of them, and it's really bothersome if you happen to be one of those folks. But the energy cleaner puts out a healing electrostatic signal, goes to every cell in your body, flushing out toxins, bringing in fresh nutrition. We focus on two things: getting a great night's sleep. You'll sleep as good as you did as a small child. I do every night. And pain mitigation. Arthritis pain, joint pain, back pain, it doesn't matter. Everybody with arthritis pain gets some relief. Most get complete relief with the energy cleaner. These are pretty bold statements for a little black box that costs $285, shipping included, isn't it, Tom?
No, it really is, John. But people should know that this started out nearly 20 years ago, and the early units were sold at $3,000, and people were anxious to pay that and get going with it. And they gladly paid that because of the results they were getting. So, but we worked very hard for several years to get the price down to an affordable level, and people could then afford it. I really wanted it, John, to be as low priced as possible so that everybody could, even in the worst of cases, could squeeze the money together and get it going and get one of these units and get some pain relief. And a lot of other problems are helped as well.
Right. We got a caller on hold here. We got Ty in Texas. Good morning, Ty.
Good morning, gentlemen. John, you offered to call in with a testimonial right before we started this half hour. So I've talked to both of you guys, so this may ring a bell, but it's been a little over a year. I purchased 3 energy cleaners. I keep 2 in my home, and my mother and her husband have one. And, oh, gosh, I don't know. It's been a couple of years, maybe 3, because time flies. When I got the first one, John, I actually won the drawing off a postcard, which was really neat. But the testimonial part of this, I'll go ahead and just say I'm about to be 45 years old, so this started, my experience with the energy cleaner started in my early 40s, and my pain started in my early 30s, where I would, for no apparent reason at all, wake up from an otherwise normal night's sleep with a severe crick in my neck or in my upper back, and also suffering from just unusual and could not figure out with chiropractors, doctors, why I was having other back pain. Part of that reason, and John, you always say this isn't a silver bullet. Part of that reason is I was not exercising, so I have to admit that. However, it was not enough. When I got the energy cleaner, it took about 3 months, and by frequent, I mean once every 3 weeks. So when you wake up once every 3 weeks and you can't turn your head more than 30 degrees for another week, it's very, very uncomfortable and very painful. Well, about 3 months into that, the energy cleaner, I can't point to anything else. I didn't do anything majorly different with my diet. I didn't change anything major with my exercise routine, other than just adding a little bit to it. I have completely been this neck crick pain back thing free for over 2 years now. Not only that, I had to have surgery earlier this year to have a skin cancer removed. And they had to go really deep. The scar was very long, very deep. And when I went back to that doctor in 2.5 weeks to get, or 3 weeks or so to get the stitches removed and to have the bandage looked at, her jaw dropped at how well that scar had healed. And then finally, I have the pad. Of course, I have the mattress pad, guys and audience. You got to get the mattress pad and sleep on the thing every night. But you also, if you're a traveler, you need to get the travel pad and sit on that thing when you're on the road. For me, driving a long distance, I enjoy it, but it hurts. And you get out of the car and you're like, oh my gosh, you got to stretch and you need to stop. You sit on that pad, baby, you can drive and drive and drive, and you just don't feel like you don't feel it. So the thing's amazing. Everybody out there, really, you're not doing yourself justice to part with $300 and potentially solve any number of problems that you have. And if the medical industry had a clue every single bed in every hospital would have one of these things. So thanks, guys. Appreciate you taking my call.
Okay. Ty, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Call number is 800-313-9443. Ty's experience is more the norm than the exception, isn't it, Tom?
Yeah, it really is, John. It was a little bit garbled when he spoke about the medical doctor, something about going back to get the stitches removed. What was that comment that Ty made?
The doctor could not believe the level of healing that had taken place. She was so astonished. Right.
Okay.
And that's
we hear that. We hear that quite often. And also, John, I say this quite a bit on your show, that many people that have had any type of surgical procedure will make comments that incision has healed up and there's no scar. It just heals with absolutely no scar, to the total amazement of the doctor that did the surgery. So that's something to take into consideration. That's happened many times.
It has, and that was part of Steve Whitman's testimony as well, that when he went back for his checkup, the doctor called in witnesses. She called in everybody on the floor, so she'd have multiple witnesses as to the healing process that Steve had gone through. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the energy cleaner, you can study up on it and read about the patent application at my website at thelibertyman.com. You can make your purchase right there at my website at thelibertyman.com. The energy cleaner, the mattress pad to go with it. We have twin size, full, queen, king, California king, the handy travel size, all right there. Everything's in stock. And you can use PayPal. When you use PayPal to make a payment, you're not giving up your credit card information, so it really is very secure. MasterCard, Visa, you can send me a check or money order. My address is at my website. Or you can call my toll-free order line 24 hours a day. Here it is, 800-592-9543. I say again, 800-592-9543. We do everything we can to make it as simple as possible, don't we, Tom?
We sure do, John, and these units are available for rapid shipment, and people can get started with this. Speaking of that travel pad and Ty's comments on using that in the car, I drove from Florida back to Missouri, from Tampa, Florida, back to Missouri, nearly nonstop. It was about a 17-hour trip, and I did use the energy cleaner in the car, and I'll tell you what, I had no fatigue. We did stop near Nashville for about an hour and a half, get something to eat, and then we just got right back on the road and kept rolling, and I didn't have any issues at all with it. It was amazing how easy that trip went. I know a lot of the over-the-road truck drivers like to use this, and it works very well for them. They do have to stop by law and take their mandatory breaks. Many of these people have told me that they wish they could just keep on rolling because they feel refreshed and ready to keep driving, but they're not allowed to by law. But other than that, it really helps them quite a bit on their journey, and that's a tough job, a hard job, and they are very, very pleased with it, the way the energy cleaner helps them.
Well, it's over-the-road truck driving is tough, and it's a hard way to make a living. But the energy cleaner does help a lot. I make long road trips myself, and I always bring my small pad, my energy cleaner, to help me be refreshed while I'm on the road. It's just a win-win situation overall. I don't know what a person can do health-wise for this amount of money that would do any more for them. It's such a small amount of money to complete everything with mattress pad, energy cleaner. You're talking less than $500. $500 in healthcare expenses these days is a pittance, isn't it?
Yeah, that's really not much at all. You go to a doctor's appointment, have a $500 bill, and a prescription for some pain pills or pharmaceutical products that don't even do the job. And you go back to that doctor again, and they'll always say, well, let's try this. That didn't work, so let's try this. Of course, it's always at your expense.
And no money-back guarantee like I offer.
No, that's right. No money-back guarantee. But they're always willing to try another drug. Here, let's add this to the collection of pharmaceuticals you're taking. And they just keep piling this stuff on it. Before you know it, you start losing track of what pills you're supposed to be taking.
Well, what they do is they're chasing symptoms. So the pharmaceutical product will give them one symptom, then they'll give you another pharmaceutical product to counteract the symptom of the first one. And that's how people end up with 7, 8, 9, and 10 different prescriptions, don't they?
That's right, John. I met with a customer in person, and they wanted to get 2 energy cleaners, one to keep in their car and one to use at their home, husband and wife. And they showed, both of them showed me these little containers that are divided up for the week, and they put their pills in there, and they load this thing up at the beginning of each week so that they have all their pills sorted out. I mean, these people were on numerous medications, and they had some issues, but exactly what you said is what they were doing. They had symptoms from one drug, but they said, we need to take this because of this, and we have to add this because of that side effect and this and that. I know for a fact that the energy cleaner helped both of them, and they were able to cut out some of these medications and get it down to just a very low level, which was better for them overall, financially, and also their liver. You know, your liver and your kidneys has to filter out all the debris that's the byproduct of these pharmaceutical products, and this energy cleaner helps to flush a lot of that out. It's best if you don't have to take any at all, but sometimes that's not an option.
That's right. That's right. Here's our break. We'll be right back. Here on Thursday, the first day of August. Thomas, this year is just flying by, isn't it, sir?
Boy, it really is, John. Faster than you would ever think. It's amazing. Well, August 1st already,
and it will continue to be. Well, something we like to mention is the dramatic positive effect on growing plants, whether they're ornamentals or fruits and vegetables. We're in the middle of the growing season right now. It's not too late. It's not too late to use the energy cleaner to enhance the ornamentals and the fruits and vegetables, is it, Tom?
No, it's never too late, John. And of course, so many people that I've done business with have greenhouses, and they want to extend that growing season with a greenhouse, and some of them go year-round. The energy cleaner will really help in those situations. And if you're producing vegetables as your own food supply or to sell to others, it's really a good thing to do. One gentleman has a small greenhouse, and he does specialty type of tomatoes that he sells to restaurants. And he said his customers are very, very happy with the quality and the quantities that he can deliver year-round. So it's a full-time business for this guy, and he delivers these to the restaurant. So by using the energy cleaner, he increases the production of those tomatoes. And then, of course, I like to talk about the gentleman and his wife who grew flowers, ornamental-type flowers, and large roses. They did several types of flowers that they would enter into competitions. And one time he asked me to please stop talking about that so much. He says, I don't really want my competitors finding out the secret to how we grow these flowers so big and so fast.
Well, here we are exposing and spilling the beans. The secret server has been found, and we're doing what we can to help everybody. We can't just limit our help just to one customer. We need to help everybody, don't we, Tom?
That's right, John. And, of course, everybody has cats and dogs, pets, parakeets. There was a woman in Tennessee that was breeding parrots, and she would just energize the metal cage that the parrots were in, and any of them that were sick would, in many cases, fully recover. And she was amazed at how well that energy cleaner worked. She told me one time that one of the parrots, her father was there visiting, and one of the parrots was sitting on his hand and getting close, and that parrot lunged at him and bit him on his lip and actually cut all the way through his lip. And they Well, she said they used super glue. They put it back together, this cut in his lip, and he kept an energy cleaner. He made an aluminum foil pad and kept it on there, and it healed quite rapidly, but it actually totally healed with no scar. So there's another case of the no scarring. They were very impressed and amazed at how fast that healed up for her father. And then, of course, the parrots that she was breeding, the results she was having with that. And then, of course, there's people that will take a piece of stainless steel wire and make like a candy cane shaped hook and hang that in their fish aquarium and clip onto that. And that helps quite a bit with people that are working with fish and have aquarium setups.
Tom, thank you, sir. We'll have you back tomorrow morning for emergency communications.
Okay, John. Have a nice day.
Okay, thank you. Top of the hour break. We'll be back with Steve Hunt, our John Moore Radio Show Economic Advisor. All right, we're back, ladies and gentlemen. J.R. Moore here, our second hour on Thursday, the 25th of July. Prepper tip of the day. Gentlemen, you want to be a hero for the women on your team. Seriously, you want to be a hero. Get a 2-year supply of feminine hygiene products, birth control products, and more toilet paper than you ever think you might need. That would be a smart thing to do. That's your prepper tip of the day. We have patient waiting agreement with my friend Steve Hunt. Steve Hunt is the economic advisor for the John Moore Radio Show. We're going to talk about this economy, where the economy is now, where it's headed, and what all of you need to do in order to protect yourself and ensure financial security for your family as we move forward. If you want to contact Steve, just go to my website at libertyman.com. You'll see a nice red box with a gold ribbon on it there, top of my homepage. Click on that. Click on it right now, and you're instantly at Steve's landing page with Swiss America, where you can fill out a little form there and get these little books that he's offering here at no charge. These reports, The Secret War on Cash, and the other one is The War Against Economic Freedom. Or you can give Steve a call at 800-630-1491. Good morning, Steve.
Good morning, John.
Well, sir, I believe somehow, some way, Donald Trump laid down the law to the Federal Reserve. What's your opinion, sir?
Well, he's trying to make some influences, that's for sure. He tried to appoint, he has nominated Judy Shelton and Christopher Waller to the board of the Federal Reserve. And I believe he's doing this because he's trying to create some type of new currency that might be backed by gold. I mean, that seems to be the rumor.
Well, you're wired into people at very high levels in different parts of our economy or government, aren't you, sir?
I am, but, you can even go past that, for there's been other people and other sources in the media. He tried to appoint Stephen Moore and Herman Cain about 6 months ago, and they were both run out of there by the Dems. And when Stephen Moore was interviewed on CNN, CNN asked him, what was the purpose of this? And his exact statement was, well, we were trying to find a way to back a new currency system with commodities. And they said, what do you mean by that? He said, maybe something, like oil and gold, but if we can't do oil, we'll just do gold. So there's obviously an agenda that's at play here. It's just everybody needs to pay attention.
Well, obviously. Well, at that level, there's very little most of my listeners can do about it, on one hand. On the other, what they can do is listen to the John Moore Radio Show Economic Advisor, and they can study, get copies of these books, The Secret War on Cash and The War Against Economic Freedom. Read those, and then they're ready, once they've done these things, they're ready to move forward and make decisions to protect their family's financial interest, aren't they, sir?
Well, very true. That's just it. Once you get some type of knowledge and you learn a little bit about it, nobody should jump into any investment ever. And no matter what you do, you should always try to read a little bit about it, learn, ask questions, and then when you think you have enough knowledge, learn some more. And it's always the key to making sure that you're making the right financial steps.
Right.
It's security. So there's just so much.
Right.
Go ahead.
I investigated a case once where a unethical stockbroker got a family to invest several $1 million that they had in Coca-Cola common stock, to take that out of Coca-Cola common stock, which is about as solid as Gibraltar. It hasn't missed. I don't believe Coca-Cola's missed a quarterly a dividend payment for something like 80 years or more,
right.
And put that into European put options. And
oh, geez.
oh yeah, I could hear you. And it gets worse. There's some safety mechanisms put in place by the federal agency that handle these things, requiring and demanding that people basically understand what a European put option is. So they had to sign documents saying that they understood what European put options were, that they understood what they were, how it worked, and the risk involved prior to making that investment. Of course, they didn't have a clue what European put options were, but based on the faith they had in this unethical stockbroker, who they were related to by marriage, by the way, they went ahead and signed these documents saying they understood what European put options were, and they lost everything. So, word to the wise, don't invest in things you don't understand. Right, Steve?
Well, yeah, it's funny that you say that. I have a client right now that I'm dealing with who he has a 401k that he inherited from his father. It was just over $650,000, and he signed everything, rolled it over to a company, and this company has been doing trades on his behalf without him knowing it, and signing paperwork saying that they were doing trades and it was him. And he reached out to me, having me look into his account, and come to find out his account's down to $150,000.
Oh.
And this massively booming stock market in the last 2 years. And all they did was put him into the highest commission products possible and just kept flipping it and doing cancellation policies to get him into something new. And they just absolutely robbed him of everything. Yeah. He's like, I was here yesterday until late last night trying to talk to him and try to help the guy figure out some type of legal option. I mean, he just got robbed $500,000.
Well, I'll tell you what the outcome's going to be, knowing what little bit you just mentioned. All the I's will be dotted, all the T's will be crossed, and this unethical brokerage house will have done nothing illegal that they could be prosecuted. Now, unethical, yes. Is there a basis for a civil lawsuit? I don't know. But the same evidence would be presented in a civil lawsuit as it would in a criminal matter, and they will have done everything completely legal, most likely. What do you think, sir?
Well, that's a good question I'd like to ask you. They signed, actually, I hate to do this on the air, but they signed all his documents. They signed it in his name.
Now, if they did that without authority, if he gave them power of attorney to sign on his behalf, then it was probably legal. If he did not give power,
he did not give him power of attorney. I know that.
Well, if he didn't do that, then there's, without a doubt, a federal prosecutor needs to be looking at this, the FBI, because I'm sure there was some involvement in interstate commerce, almost without a doubt, and probably a strong basis for a civil lawsuit. So that what this gentleman needs is an attorney who works with these kind of complex financial matters and understands them, as opposed to trying to educate some lawyer who does divorce work.
Yeah.
And it sounds like there's a sound basis for both civil and criminal matters to move forward, in my opinion. What a nightmare. What an absolute nightmare.
It's heartbreaking. That's what it is.
It is.
It's I care about every one of my clients, and when I started digging into this, and he had no idea what was going on, and I had to be the one to break the news. That's not a happy day for me.
No, but at least he woke up and smelled the coffee before the $600,000 was completely gone.
Right.
Well, and these things happen, ladies and gentlemen. These are not isolated incidents. These things are taking place right now at 9:11 a.m. on the 25th day of July. There's this kind of unethical, fraudulent, criminal behavior happening right now in America, all over America, isn't there?
It sure is. There's just people that you don't know if you can trust them. You got to do research. I mean, make sure that the person you're talking to has a good reputation. I mean, in today's day and age, I'm going to say this: if you have a bad experience at a restaurant or you have a bad experience somewhere, the first thing everybody does today is go online and they post something about it. So if you want to know if someone's unethical, they're doing wrong by you, you just got to look them up online. You know,
right,
a reputation is something that will stick with you forever. So, you know, in the 20 years that I've been doing this, there's, you know, you can Google me for the next 2 years and never find one negative comment. And that's because I do everything by the book. I mean, there is
right.
no, anybody who tries to cut the line and do anything, you know, any type of shady way, they shouldn't be in business.
Right. Now, the earlier story I was talking about, the family with the Coca-Cola as a common stock and the European put options, this was a family member, but not blood, but a family member by marriage, who they trusted to be doing the right thing for the right reasons. And so do your homework. And a family connection does not necessarily translate into somebody trustworthy, does it?
No. Unfortunately, sometimes people take advantage of that, and they see that pocketbook that they could be making more money is greater than the relationship to the person.
Well, I'd be glad to talk to you privately if any way I can help your client that's been taken to the cleaners there. I don't want to dwell on that too much longer, Steve. Moving on from there, when you help people, you first of all have to understand where they are economically, financially, and what their goals are that they want to accomplish, correct?
Well, yeah, everybody has a different situation. You know, you might be, you know, in a position where you have so much money in the bank, and, you know, the dollar could be devalued soon and you're going to be affected. Or you could be somebody who has $1,000 in the bank, and, you know, still, you have the same problem. It doesn't matter if you have $1 million or $1,000. You know, if the dollar gets devalued, you have the same problem. Everybody has the same problem right now. J.P. Morgan came out yesterday and said, this is a public statement yesterday morning, that it's time to dump the U.S. dollar as its century of global dominance has come to an end. And they believe, and this is another statement that they put on, the dollar will lose its status as world's dominant currency. They believe it's going to lose its reserve status. So
for those who don't,
this is significant.
It is. For those who don't know, tell people who and what J.P. Morgan is, if you would please, and their status within our country, our economy, and so forth.
J.P. Morgan, you know, anytime anybody goes to a Chase Bank, let's put it this way, Chase Bank and J.P. Morgan is the same company. Okay, J.P. Morgan is the biggest trading company on the U.S. stock exchange. I mean, when you talk about massive financial institutions here in America, you know, and you go way back in the day, and you can go back and start looking at research and history about J.P. Morgan and Rockefellers and the start of how all this stuff began. J.P. Morgan is it. They are the biggest bank. And when Too Big to Fail happened,
you mean Chase Manhattan, right? When you say Chase,
right?
Right.
And when when Too Big to Fail happened, you know, and they need to be bailed out, and the government, you know, started combining, you know, J.P. Morgan and Chase Bank together. You know, and then they started trying to, you know, get everybody to hold hands and say, you know, here's what you do. You know, let's not fall apart, and we'll give you guys money. Let's bail yourself out of this predicament. You know, they're getting inside information in my belief right now to make sure that they don't have this happen again, because they can't let them fail twice. The government's already bailed them out the first time. So when they start coming out with these statements, you got to remember, this is the second massive financial institution in America. Morgan Stanley came out a few weeks ago and said that it's time to get out of the U.S. dollar and out of investments and start playing defense. Now you have Morgan Stanley and J.P. Morgan both screaming to the American public, get out of the U.S. dollar and get out of investment.
Now, when you make that statement, get out of the U.S. dollar. I'm Joe Sixpack. I'm a plumber. I got a wife and 2.5 kids. What does that tell me I got to do?
That means you need to find an asset, a physical asset of some type. If you have a stock, you have a 401k, an IRA, savings, bonds, whatever the case may be, that's a cash asset. So anything that is something that is based on just regular dollars, I mean, you don't have it in your hands, that's just a cash asset is what it is. If you have land, if you have gold, if you have silver, or you have a rare car, rare art, those are physical assets. So what happens is, if the dollar gets devalued, your physical asset isn't affected. If you have a home, that's a great physical asset because that physical asset is not going to drop down with the U.S. dollar. So if they do come out and create, like the rumor is rampant right now, that they're going to come out with a new currency system and they're going to back up by gold and all these different things. If that were to happen, that means that your asset will still be worth what it's worth in today's money in a new currency system. And that's what protects you. You've got to have physical assets. Now, every time that there's been a dollar crash or any type of currency manipulation, you know, whether you're talking about 2008, 2001, 1987, you know, the gold has outperformed everything because it's a safe haven. Gold is insurance on the dollar, and it always has been. It's a store of wealth. So every time the dollar gets devalued or something happens to the dollar, gold does the reverse action of the dollar, and it goes up dramatically. And that's the best place to put your money. But if you don't want to buy gold or silver, you got to find something else. And my choice, if I were you, if you don't want gold and silver, is land. Just vacant, empty land.
Right, right. Well, artwork and stamps and collectibles like that, they are assets on one hand. On the other, the values could evaporate or diminish dramatically very quickly, or they could increase very quickly. It's really, if you don't know what you're doing with artwork, you just better stay away from it.
Yeah, it's a touchy market.
But real estate, they're not making any more real estate. Value will change, go up, go down, but it's never going to lose all its value. That's not possible. And gold and silver, of course, those have a 5,000 plus year track record of maintaining a storage of value, don't they?
No, that's just it. There's nothing that has ever been worth more, you know, throughout the history of time. It's always been the rule of thumb. Whoever has, you know, the gold and silver is the most wealthiest of the people in the land. But like what you said with the land, you know, that's why I like gold and silver and land so much. You cannot create more land. What's there is there. And it's the same thing with, you know, gold and silver. You know, you're not going to be able to go into the ground and pop up, you know, 1 million ounces today. It's not going to happen. So what's in existence is what's in existence.
When I was a boy in kindergarten, these rocky hills I live in out here were going for $10 an acre. As many thousands of acres as you wanted to buy for $10 an acre. The same land now is $1,500 an acre.
Yep.
Rocky hillsides with oak trees. That's all. You know, you can't grow a piece of corn on these hillsides. You can't have cattle walk around and get fat. You just rocky hillsides with oak trees. $1,500 an acre that were previously $10 an acre in my lifetime. So real estate is solid. Gold is solid. Silver is solid. Of course, with gold and silver, you don't have real estate taxes, do you?
No. Well, it's private. If you buy the right things, you can really make everything.
Hold that thought, Steve. We got a break. We'll be right back.
Folks, we're living in a world the likes of which we've never perceived any clearer than we do now. The plan for global governance has been in the works for generations and would have likely been achieved by now but for the fact that the globalists left open their Achilles heel. With all their tools, Federal Reserve System, fiat currency, no child left behind, and then Common Core education introduced to our schools to dumb us down, vaccines, pharmaceuticals to lobotomize us, GMO foods, insertion of compromised or bought and paid for politicians, judges, mainstream media propaganda, all pieced together like a puzzle designed to ultimately bring the world under submission. But with all their strategy, they forgot one thing: knowledge. And knowledge is power. With knowledge, their bombardment is nullified. Folks, with that, as brilliant and knowledgeable as you've become, among the wisest audience of any radio audience in the world, and you are, I want you to take a moment to reflect and ask yourself, how much of that knowledge did I obtain from Republic Broadcasting Network? How high has my consciousness been raised since I've been a listener? How fast am I now able to discriminate truth from fake news by being a Republic Broadcasting listener? How clear am I now able to see the world since I've been listening to RBN? Ask yourselves those questions, folks. Then ask yourself, what is that knowledge worth to me? Like my morning coffee, how would I survive without it? A voice of truth in a sea of lies. Do we not all need to make sure it survives? Like public broadcasting, we are now finding we can only survive with listener support. Censorship, advertisers being attacked, truth itself being attacked. It's the only way through this. We at Republic Broadcasting humbly ask you to become a supporter. Look at your budget and make a determination of what Republic Broadcasting is worth to you and what you can afford on a monthly basis. Go to republicbroadcasting.org and pledge $20, $30, $40, $50, if possible, $100 a month or more if it's affordable. Click the donate button and become a regular monthly donor. Assure both us and yourself that Republic Broadcasting truth will continue to flow like that morning coffee. The network thanks you.
All right, we're back with some Double Barrel Mortgage on Thursday, the 20th of July. Visiting with Steve Hunt. If you want to get some information from Steve, just go on my website, libertyman.com. There's a red box at the top with a gold ribbon on it. Just click on that, and you get Steve's landing page. You just fill out your name, your contact information, address, and you will get copies of 2 free reports, The Secret War on Cash and The War Against Economic Freedom. Or you just give, if you don't have internet access, and many of my listeners don't have internet access, give Steve a call at 800-630-1491. I say again, 800-630-1491. Steve, would it be a fair statement that a statement of the nature you mentioned from J.P. Morgan can and will, there's no doubt about it, can and will have an influence on people's decisions in the markets?
Well, I think it absolutely will. It's, when you see the 2 of the biggest financial institutions in the United States saying this, here's the biggest worry that I have. Go back to 2008, and other than you, John, there was nobody talking about a crash. There was no financial institutions saying, hey, everybody, watch out. Nobody gave any type of warning, and now you're having the biggest banks, the biggest financial investment companies telling you not to put your money in and get it out of the dollar. I mean, imagine going to a Ford dealership and the manager of the Ford dealership coming out saying, no, you don't want this Ford. You want to go across the street and buy a Chevy.
Right.
I mean, it just never would happen.
Good analogy. Would it be,
and that's what's happening.
I would speculate that prior to that announcement being made by J.P. Morgan, that there was probably a decision at the various highest levels of the CEO and possibly even the board of directors of J.P. Morgan. What do you think?
Well, there had to have been. This statement was made by the bank's chief strategist, Craig Cohen.
Craig did not make that statement independent on his own. You don't do something
no way.
That way. No way. No. He consulted with the CEO. The CEO probably consulted with the board of directors. This would be a matter of highest magnitude, of the greatest importance prior to J.P. Morgan making that kind of public statement, correct?
It would have to be. You can't go out and make that statement on behalf of such a big financial institution without everybody knowing that it's about to be made.
No. You would. You might be kissing your career goodbye.
Exactly. Yeah.
No, you don't do that. So you got your heads up here, ladies and gentlemen. You really do. You got your heads up. When you got an outfit like J.P. Morgan making this kind of statement, it's time to contact Steve Hunt. Time to educate yourself, and then once you're educated, once you've talked to Steve and he understands you, and you understand what Steve has to offer, then it's time to move forward, get your gold coins, silver coins, gold bullion, silver bullion, and protect yourself and protect your assets of your family. Right, Steve?
Couldn't have said better.
Well, thank you, sir. We got about 60 seconds here to get some information out to these folks. What do you want to let them know, Steve?
There's another report that I have that's called The Reckoning, and it's some financial gurus that put this together that talks about what they believe is going to happen and how they believe that when this does happen, the process will be a devaluation of the dollar by 50 to 70%.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's what they think is going to happen by a result of this. And, the thing I want to stress to everybody is you can't say, well, this isn't going to affect me. I don't have that much money in the bank. or you can't be the averse person that goes, well, this isn't going to bother me. I have $1 million in the bank. There's not a person on the planet that can sit there and say, I'm okay losing 50 to 70% of my money if this thing falls apart. So don't be naive and sit there and go, this isn't going to bother me. It is going to bother you. So make sure you take that step, and just, if nothing else, call and say, hey, can I get that report? Can I get some books? Can I get some information? Knowledge is free. I'm not going to charge you a penny for information.
I understand. How long has the Reckoning been available, Steve?
It's only been out, I think, about a week.
Well, no wonder I don't have it. You've been holding out on me. Okay.
Yeah, well, I've been taking care of a newborn, John.
I know, busy dad, changing diapers, a little drink of water.
Oh my goodness! I forgot. It's been 18 years. I forgot how this goes.
Well, it's a precious time, and
it is.
It is, and I congratulate you and your wife, and we'll have you back next Thursday, sir. Thank you very much.
Sounds wonderful. Thank you.
Oh, okay. We got a bottom of the hour break coming up. We'll have open lines here, and I think we may have a caller on hold. I got so many things on this screen I got to get rid of. Yeah, we do have a caller on hold. Well, I don't want to get started with a caller and have to stop for the break. So, John from Tennessee, just hold on so we don't have to be interrupted. Yeah, Steve Hunt's a new dad, and he hasn't been a new dad for 18 years. Whoa, what a break in time that is. Poopy diapers, little drinks of water in the middle of the night, rocking the baby to sleep while you sing a little lullaby, all those precious moments. We got a break. We'll be right back.
You are tuned in to the Republic Broadcasting Network. Visit our website by going to republicbroadcasting.org.
Ladies and gentlemen, J.R. Moore here. We have a special promotion going on at Republic Broadcasting. This is a fundraiser for Republic Broadcasting involving the Energy Cleaner. Mail me a postcard. My address is at my website at thelibertyman.com. We pick a postcard every other Thursday. When your postcard is drawn out, you get to buy an energy cleaner for $215 instead of $285, $70 discount. $200 goes to Republic Broadcasting. You also get a 10% discount on my mattress pads. So get those postcards in, put your name, your telephone number, your email address on there, and when your postcard is drawn, you get to get an energy cleaner for $215 instead of $285. Mattress pads, 10% off. Help us out at Republic Broadcasting and help yourself to get an energy cleaner at a deep discount. It's a win-win situation for everybody. We hope you can get these postcards in soon. Thank you very much. All right, we are back, ladies and gentlemen. We're back. J.R. Moore here on Thursday, the 25th of July. We're planning a Caribbean cruise. It's not posted on my website yet. It will be soon. I doubt it will be posted this week. We got the gentleman I'm working with, Betsy Murphy's husband, Ben, my friend Ben, who will be at my wife's memorial service Saturday. We're both really covered up with different projects, but it'll be posted soon. Then you can call Betsy and sign up for the cruise. In fact, you could probably call her now as far as that goes. We leave Cape Canaveral on Saturday. It'll be Saturday, February the 9th. We return to Cape Canaveral on Saturday, February the 16th. It'll be a lot of fun. We're working to get a lineup of some of my hosts with us. Don't want to announce anything prematurely, but it's a work in progress, and it will be a lot of fun. So just stay tuned. We will update you as these details come forward. And of course, my website is thelibertyman.com. I know many of my listeners, they want to stay up to speed on what's going on in geopolitical matters all over the planet. A friend of mine, I met him working a homicide. He was a former U.S. military counterintelligence agent. He's now retired. This is one of his hobbies. This takes a lot of time. You look at the volume of articles this man finds and posts. It's phenomenal. Pretty much 7 days a week. Right there below the photo of myself being awarded the Prague Peace Prize by Dr. Bourne and Prague, Czech Republic, bright red letters, open source intelligence. A great reason to come back to my website every day and see what's going on in the world. Also, my website, of course, you heard us talk about the energy cleaner last hour. If you have arthritis pain, what are you waiting for? You know pain meds aren't good for you. You know that, right? You do? Seriously? Pain meds aren't good for you? Get yourself an energy cleaner. Cut back on the pain meds, possibly even eliminate them. That would be a good thing. Only $285 shipping included to American zip codes. The mattress pads that go with it, they vary in price depending on what you need. Twin size, full, queen, California king. Everything's right there at my website. We can place your order using PayPal, MasterCard, Visa. You can call my toll-free hour line 24 hours a day, 800-592-9543. I say again, 800-592-9543. Well, John, in Tennessee, you've been patiently waiting here for a few minutes, sir. What's on your mind this morning? Good morning.
Well, good morning, John. I got out of the market in 2005. I actually seen 2008 coming. Got out of the market, put everything in silver and gold. And in 2008, I ran into a gentleman. We were talking, and he's in a three-piece suit. He's driving a really nice Jaguar. And we were talking about the economy, and if anyone asked me about the Fed, and he did, I gave him 150% of what I believe to be true. As a result, after a 2-hour conversation, I told him, you know who you're talking to. You're talking to a truck driver. Would you mind me asking what you do for a living? And he gave me his card. His name was John Avery, Executive Vice President in charge of investments for Wells Fargo. Okay? So, and this is right during the middle of the 2008 what they call the Great Recession.
Right.
So I guess what I'm saying, John, if Chase Bank or J.P. Morgan are advising people to get out of the dollar, what they're asking for is a run on the bank. And if the largest bank in the world basically is asking for people to take their dollars out and put it in silver and gold, there's only one reason that I can see. And it's not because they love you and they're concerned with your investments, because they really give a rip about what happens to your money. Their money is safe. They want the collapse. They want, you talk about It's a Wonderful Life bank run, that's going to look like kindergarten.
Right.
They're wanting the collapse. And what is Donald Trump doing now when he's going to the Fed saying whatever it is he's saying? John, I'm sorry, but I think he is a puppet that is going there, because unless he's calling for a year of jubilee where they repudiate the debt that they owed to a private bank, if the Bible's true, the borrower is slave to the lender, and this nation is slave to the Fed. They can't tell the Fed to do anything. The only thing they could do, repudiate the debt, walk away, and abolish the Fed. And if you do that, Donald Trump will have a very, very short life. You think it came quick to Kennedy when he brought about the U.S. notes again and was talking about this monolithic conspiracy? Donald Trump tries to abolish the Fed, which I don't think it'll ever happen. He's a dead man. These people think for keeps.
I agree.
The love of money really is.
John,
you and I don't always agree. Love of money really is the root of all evil.
John, you and I don't always agree, but I agree with you on this point. And the year of Jubilee is a biblical concept that if we implemented it here, the United States of America would never be able to borrow anything from anybody again for a generation or more. So
well, if we did biblical and financial investments, every 50 years, everything that you had would go back to your family. That's the way it's supposed to be, so that a great number of people...
If we ran our... Well, I'm not disagreeing with you. If the financial part of our government, the federal government, was run the way the founding fathers intended for it to be and run, you and I wouldn't be having this conversation, because it was simply, we would be financially solvent. And my president, Andrew Jackson, understood that, and he by the time he left office, our country was solvent. But that's obviously changed dramatically, hasn't it?
Well, and there were two assassination attempts, and neither one of them were successful. So whatever Jackson was, God had his hand on him. Here's one more thing, John, and I fell into the trap of trying to protect my wealth with silver and gold. The book of James, chapter 5, talks about a woe unto the rich man, and it doesn't mean the uber wealthy necessarily. It talks about silver and gold. The Bible says that your gold will be a witness, a testimony against you, because you cannot serve God and money. You're going to have to, there's nothing wrong with having a little bit of wealth secure, but if you're counting, if anyone, including myself, is counting on that for me to be able to make it through whatever trouble's coming, where's the glory for God? Where is he supplying my needs? If John is smart enough to make preparations to see me through a great time of trouble, then there's no room for God's glory. And that's the danger we fall into. You're going to see gold in the streets. People are going to be throwing it away because it's a testimony against them, according to the Bible. It'll be trash. So anyway, appreciate it.
All right. Well, John, we do appreciate your call. Thank you, sir. Your call number is 800-313-9443. Prophecy in the Bible generally does not give dates that I'm aware of, which brings up a topic which is fascinating. I don't want to dwell on it, but the Bible code, which I talk. My friend Tim Spencer works the Bible code occasionally, and he's in touch with a gentleman, a former intelligence officer down in Florida, who works the Bible code on a more frequent basis. It's a fascinating area that most people don't understand or don't know even exists, even people who should know. Fascinating area. I believe, from my knowledge, owning gold and silver for the time being and for the foreseeable future is a smart thing to do. It's a wise thing to do. And even if it's just a small portion, it's still a wise thing to do. Just because you can't buy large amounts of gold or silver doesn't mean you should hold off buying small amounts of gold and silver. Not at all. In fact, I'll be talking to Steve Hunt privately about increasing my own inventory of gold coins and silver coins. I think that would be wise for me to do. I have responsibilities. I have a daughter and her children, my grandchildren, that my goal is to help them be safe as long as I can, as long as I'm breathing God's good, fresh, clean air down here in the Ozark Mountains. That's one of my goals, is to help establish a safe haven for my family. I look at it as my responsibility and my duty before God and country to make sure my family is safe first. Once I've done that, then I'll go after the Russian Spetsnaz. Got to have your priorities, right? Got to have your priorities. But educating yourself is the first step. In the absence of education, you're just guessing. And that's why we have the John Moore Radio Show economic advisor Steve Hunt on every week to bring us up to speed. I'll be getting that report from him titled The Reckoning here soon, and read it. I've already got the other two reports. They're very well done, very well written. And one of my passions is reading, of course, I'm a passionate, voracious reader. And typically I'll go through a book every 7 to 10 days. Typically, I'll do that. At the moment, I'm a bit distracted preparing for the memorial service for my recently deceased wife that will take place the day after tomorrow. I've been away from my home here for 18 months. A lot of dead bugs in the country when you're gone for 18 months. My goodness. Other things to do, of course, cleaning and sorting and preparing bed linens and sheets and towels and everything for my guests that I'm going to have here beginning tomorrow. But once that's over, once I've taken my daughter and grandson to the airport Sunday, I'll get back to my regular routine of reading and studying as much as I normally do. And that's what I do. That's my passion. One of my passions is reading and studying. And I just soak that stuff up. And Steve Hunt helps me by getting into the reports he's got for us: the reckoning, the secret war on cash, the war against economic freedom. Now, just a few minutes ago, you heard John from Tennessee and myself agreeing on some things. I don't agree that silver and gold are going to be thrown in the streets during our lifetimes, and I don't believe for lifetimes and several lifetimes to the future. Things can change. Nothing's carved in granite on these economic matters. It would be a dramatic sea change, to say the least, where gold coins were thrown in the street as trash. But I can't take that off the table as not being possible. I will say it's highly unlikely. I'm not aware of anything that I can think of that could make that happen and within the realm of reason and logic. So I'll stick with gold and silver coins for the time being, and for the foreseeable future, along with brass and ordnance, steel and lead. Of course. Brass, of course, and lead being ammunition, ordnance, steel being firearms. Good investments. I know quite a few machine gun collectors. Here in Missouri, you can own all the machine guns you want, by the way. We have freedom. You can, in most of the 113 counties, probably 90 or more of the 113 counties of Missouri, you don't need a building permit or building inspection to build a home. We have freedom in Missouri. But the machine gun collectors I know, they've told me about it being one of the best investments they've ever made because of the dramatic increase in value of machine guns. It's not a hobby or investment for everybody. Clearly, it's not. But if you have the ability and the desire to invest in machine guns, you certainly should do so. It's not my desire to own machine guns. I could see where it'd be fun to own them, but I have other priorities. It's not a priority. It's not a priority for John Moore. Owning gold and silver is. I'll be talking to Steve Hunt about ways to improve my holdings in gold and silver. Steve's a very personable guy, easy to get along with. He listens to you, listens to your story, finds out where you are, and then he begins to help you, like that gentleman who inherited $600,000 and has been taken to the cleaners by a stock brokerage firm. That's wrong. And it's probably criminal from what little bit I heard. It's probably criminal. And Steve will help if I can help in any way. I will certainly help also to make sure that the brokerage house is brought to justice and he recovers as much of his $600,000 as he can, or $450,000. He still has $150,000 left. How tragic. How tragic is that? Well, this world has plenty of tragedy. I'm dealing with my own right now. I'm still fairly emotionally fragile, and probably will be for some period of time. Keeping busy, this radio show and all you listeners are helping me tremendously. Really. Gives me a reason to get up in the morning, to get active, to do the things that need to be done. And I am so grateful to Republic Broadcasting for this job I've got as a radio talk show host with Republic Broadcasting. It's been literally a lifesaver for me, not figuratively, but literally. We got maybe time for one more call. We got our last break coming up here in about 60 seconds. The call number is 800-313-9443. Get your house in order. Get your spiritual house in order. Get your economic house in order. Get your health squared away. That's why we talked about the energy cleaner. Make sure you've got the training you need. We focus primarily on first aid, CPR. CPR has changed in the last 18 months, in case you don't know it. You need a good current on your CPR training. And ham radio. We'll be talking about ham radio with Tom Berryhill tomorrow morning. First hour, second hour, we'll have Dr. Lynn Wilbert with us. He'll be at the memorial service, by the way, talk about health-related matters. And educate, educate, educate. Prepare, prepare, prepare. Don't forget food. Don't forget your Berkey water filters. It all works into the mix. And be sure you got backups. As Jim Rawls says, one is none, two is one. Here's our last break. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Tired of being lied to by mass media? It's growing more and more apparent today that news is received less and less through standard media outlets. Even with a growing audience every day, RBN is beginning to direct more efforts into social media. Social media and the use of the internet is fast becoming the primary source of people for news, regardless of demographic. RBN has set out to provide some of the best news on the internet through republicbroadcasting.org, and also has begun to use the tools to our advantage by way of social media. Republic Broadcasting is now operating a Facebook page to function as yet another avenue to have our collective voice reach new audiences across not only America, but across the globe as well. The Facebook page features not only news, but also an RBN player to listen to our broadcast. Get involved by visiting facebook.com/Republic Broadcasting and liking our page and share it with your friends and family, because you can handle the truth.
All right, we're back, ladies and gentlemen. Jared Moore here on Thursday, the 25th of July. 15 months until we have the opportunity to walk into the polls and vote for Donald J. Trump. These 15 months will fly by. They'll make your head spin. What do you need to do these next 15 months? You need to get ready. Seriously, you need to get ready. Communist, Muslim, Socialist, Democrats, they are planning to cause civil disorder, what one might call civil war. I'm not sure that's the appropriate term, but regardless, it will be unpleasant. It will be disruptive. How disruptive? I don't know. Will it happen? I can't say it'll definitely happen. I can say it's a definite possibility. I can say that. I can say that making prudent preparations now, while you can, would be a wise thing to do. A safe haven, a safe distance from a major city, a place where you and your team will be safe, can grow food if you need to, have all the potable water you need, can defend yourselves, have neighbors that, just like my neighbors, they know hunting and fishing and gardening are the main pursuits in life. That's my neighbors. I don't know about yours. That would be a wise thing to do. It really would. Doing it now while you can, while you have what appears to be the luxury of time. 15 months may seem like a lot of time. It'll be gone before you know it. 15 months will fly by. We're already into month number 7. It'll be month number 8. Next Thursday, a week from today, will be the 8th month of the year already. So this is my mantra. I will keep it up. That's what I do. Educating people, encouraging people, urging people to understand these matters, prepare for these matters, get ready for them. Get ready for them in advance. Get your spiritual house in order. Get as physically fit as you can in the meantime. Just start walking, if nothing else. Stay properly hydrated. Get on a regular regimen. And it's going to be different for different people. What I do is not necessarily what you need to be doing. You need to do what's suitable for you, your lifestyle, your level of physical fitness to begin with. Whatever health issues you're dealing with needs to be suitable for you. That's what you need. So you've got your heads up. I've brought you to the pond. You can drink the water or not. It's the old saying, you take the horse to water, but you can't make him drink. Well, it's your choice to drink. The water's right there in front of you. I don't have an emotional outcome, an emotional attachment to your decision. That's up to you. I won't be happy or upset if you make a decision one way or the other. I hope you make the right decision for the right reasons. That would be good. Good for you, good for your team, good for your family, good for our country. I hope you do. That's it for the day. Get your medical supplies, your energy, cleaning, your essential oils. Now what? And your firearms ammunition. Never, ever good for guns. Please do a fun, safe, productive day, and God bless America.